Morning, sixth graders. Today, as we take a look at lesson 1 and 2 of module 4, the goals are really pretty simple. We're going to build and clarify relationships of adding and subtracting by evaluating identities. And we're going to do the same thing with both multiplication and division as with adding and subtracting. So we're going to notice things like minus x plus x minus x, times a b divided by b, and divided by b times a b. Okay, we're going to make that connection. As we take a look in your book, we are looking at the very first page, and it says draw a tape diagram to represent the following here. So tape diagram's pretty simple. We know we draw it out. And we know that we need a 5 and a 4. So we're going to have to go 1, 2, 3, 4 cuts, which there would be my 5. So here is 5. And in the second one, I'm going to have 4, 1, 2, 3, which means I need to make this a little smaller. And then I have 4 right here. And therefore, 5 plus 4 is 9. Now, letter B says, write an expression for each of these. Well, what are we doing here? We're doing 2 plus 2, right? And what about here? 3 plus 4. Predict what will happen when a tape diagram has a large number of squares. Some squares are removed, and then the same amount are added back on. What's going to happen if we take away them, and then we put them back? And then we take them away again and put them right back? What happens? Nothing changes, right? Nothing changes. So if we would have 10 squares, and then we take away 6 of them, and it says remove 6. So I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10 minus 6, there's my expression. And then we're going to add 6 squares onto the tape diagram. So at this point, I only had 4, but hey, look, I need to add them back on. 2, 3, 4, 5. And so now we have 10 minus 6 plus 6, and we are still at 10. Okay, we started with 10, took away 6, put them back on, we still have 10. So we started with 10, ended with 10. So using the knowledge of what we know about it, if I have 4 and I add 5, then take away 5, I'll still have 4. That's the identity property of addition. This one, 25 minus something plus 10 is 25. Well, minus 10 plus 10. And that is the identity property of subtraction. And looking here, I see that we're adding 16 and subtracting 16, which is going to cancel. So what must I have started with if I end with 45? I started with it also. And on this last one, if I started with 56, I subtracted 20 and then added it back on, I still have 56. Going with our variables. If I have an A and I add B and then take away B, right? I'll still have A. Well, what if I do C, take away D, and then add it right back on? I still have C. If I have an E and I do something, I add something to it, but then I take away F, I still have E, I must have added F. And looking at letter D, if I subtracted H and added H, they cancel, and if I ended with G, I must have started with G. Looking at lesson 2, we're doing the exact same thing, only this time we are doing a division problem. Okay, so we are going to start with our 8. There's our 8, and it says it wants us to divide this into 2 even groups. And if we do that, we end up with 4 in each group, so our answer is 4. If we are multiplying, we're going to have 3 groups of 2. Which altogether equals 6. So we know if we divide something by 3 and then multiply by it again, we're getting right back to where we were. So on letter B, if we divided by 25 and then multiplied by 25, we're back to where we started. And if we ended at 225, we must have started there. Are you seeing that pattern? 56 times something divided by 8 is still 56. Must be an 8. So what's going to go in here on this line? 12, correct. And let's head back to the classroom.